Before we get to this marathon of me exposing a harsh reality that many Americans already face or could face in the face of AI replacements and job losses, I am in excellent health. I do not, and nor have I ever struggled with depression. My car is in perfect working order. I obey the speed limit, and I don't have any enemies that I know of. With all that said, enjoy this homeless challenge. Picture this. You've just been evicted from your house. You have nowhere to go. Would you be able to get back on your feet in 30 days, earn $3,600 to move back into an apartment using only car with a full tank of gas, smartphone, and $200? Now, here are the rules for this challenge. Everything we purchase has to come from the $200 that we start with. We're allowed to earn money in any way possible. It can be working gig apps like DoorDash, Instacart. We can flip stuff on Facebook Marketplace and go gamble. Challenge will end A, if we run out of money. B, if our car breaks down. C, we earn the $3,600, or D, we hit 30 days. I'm imagining three different types of people would find this challenge useful. A college student that's a recent graduate, they just haven't been able to find a job in their field or any job at all, and they still need to get on their feet. Second type is someone that has a little bit of failure to launch. Pandemic definitely didn't help things, made you even more of a hermit, and your parents finally had the conversation with you about you need to move out. Or the third person is someone that did everything right, got good grades in school, went to college, got a degree, got a job in their field, have been there for like 20, 30, 40 years. Everything the American dream promised you, the 40 acres and a mule, the 2.5 kids and the wife in the suburbs. You recently had your job made redundant, whether through AI or downsizing of a company, which tend to go hand in hand most of the times. Now you're down at square one. You've used up all your savings, and now you're in dire straits and you need to get back on your feet. Another caveat for this challenge, for anybody who's new here, I have 4 monetized YouTube channels. The one you're watching me on, a music channel, and 2 inactive reaction channels. I still make money from them, but I cannot use that in the challenge, and I can't ask y'all to donate to me. That wouldn't be fair because a lot of people don't have that. However, as of right now, I am not monetized on either TikTok or Instagram. So I'll make a caveat for this challenge. If I do get monetized on TikTok, I will count it in the challenge, because that just proves that anybody can blow up on TikTok and start making money. We'll prove if that's right or wrong in 2026. Now, there's a couple of things I'm not counting in the challenge that we've bought. Like, for instance, this Bluetooth cigarette lighter. I'm not counting that since this is an older car, and if you own an older car, this is a 2011 Honda Civic, most people will have this, so I'm not counting that in the challenge. This suitcase with all my clothes in it, I'm not counting that. Most people do have a suitcase, and they have changes of clothes in them. Recommendation for anybody who has to live out of their car, or they're going to be traveling with a backpack or something like that, you want to keep 4 shirts, 4 pants, 8 pairs of underwear, and 8 pairs of socks. You can go maximum 2 days with a shirt and pants, but you want to be changing your underwear and your socks daily. You will get funky really, really quick. Ask me how I know. Also, these window covers back here, I'm not counting them because you should really have them for your car. We'll go ahead and make some purchases from that $200. Portable batteries like this is an absolute game changer. You can charge up your phone, you can charge up an electric blanket, which we'll get to in a second. The first weekend of February 2026, it's showing $99.99, so we're gonna go ahead and deduct $100 from our total. Now, the purchase we're gonna make is this electric sleeping blanket. These have actually gone up in price a bit. I bought this for like $30 2 years ago, but right now on Amazon it is $70, so we're gonna go ahead and deduct that from the total as well. So we are left with $30. So how did I come up with the $200 starting budget and the $3,600 ending budget? Well, a couple of studies have been done that say right now 38 to 40% of Americans would not be able to afford a $400 emergency expense in cash without putting it on a credit card or borrowing it from a family or a friend or getting a payday loan. So I'm going to cut that safety net in half. to start this out. And the $3,600 right now, according to both Zillow and Apartments.com, they give us an average rent in America range of between $1,600 and $2,000. So I'm going to meet in the middle at $1,800. Plus, most apartments are going to want a 1-month security deposit for rent. So we're going to double that and get our total to $3,600 in 1 month. Probably some law firm or something. And of course, only $964 for that. But how the economy is right now. Downside to that is it took me out of the zone that I'm dashing in, so gotta drive all the way back for that. Man, first order in like 10 minutes. Holy crap. I got a lot of offers from Uber Eats, but they were all just trash. I mean, maybe it's because I don't have the time in with Uber Eats, but I would be getting like $5 for 14 miles. Like, screw that. All right, $9.95. All right, one Uber Eats order. We'll do it. It's barely the $1 per mile minimum that I require and most other dashers require. I mean, ideally it'd be like $1.50 per mile or $2 per mile, but it's been kind of slow today and we just gotta take what we can get. I suspect that people are saving their funds for Sunday because it is the weekend of the Super Bowl, or they just don't have disposable income. Then there's more drivers out there because the economy is so bad and there's not as many orders to go around. Then again, it might be a bad area. So we'll experiment and I'll know by the end of the weekend if I should stay in the Charlotte area or move back up to like Greensboro or Raleigh. Well, I do have one Platinum Pass available, so I'm currently on an Uber Eats order right now. After this Uber Eats order, I'll activate the Platinum Pass. That could come in handy. And Uber Eats for a Chick-fil-A in the mall. $6 for like 4 miles. All right, we were able to activate Platinum Pass, which gives you Platinum for a week if you've held it for like a month or so, left over from when I was dashing. So, yay, we're back on DoorDash. There we go. We got a Taco Bell order, which is ironically where I'm gonna stop for lunch. Taco Bell. So that guy in front of me, he was waiting with me in Taco Bell to get that DoorDash order, and like he's an elderly gentleman. Like you could tell he's like in his 60s, and by the judging on his truck, he's probably maintained that truck for a very long time, and I hope he's okay. I mean, from the looks of it, people his age doing DoorDash, it's kind of sad, honestly. Like, I'm not shaming him personally, it's just sad state of affairs of this country right now. Like, he should be enjoying his retirement, not doing this shit. All right, just dropped off that Taco Bell order. I got $12.27 from it, which, considering it was just a solo Taco Bell order, pretty high. So I think there's something to that Platinum. The big debate on Reddit and other sites in DoorDash communities of whether Platinum is worth it or not, but if it gets you better orders, I say why not. I'm not gonna give you the full amount that I've made just yet. I'll wait till the end of the day just to make things easier. The great thing about Taco Bell is between 2 and 5 p.m. is happier hour. You can get any medium drink for like $1, and I have some free ports. $1? I didn't film that part because I set the frame rate to this video way too high and it was taking way too long to download. So we've knocked down the frame rate a little bit. It's funny because I actually invested in this vlogging camera and made a rookie mistake, but we'll count that hour as like, I don't know, applying for jobs since this is a homeless challenge. Now I'm gonna go a little closer to Charlotte to see if I pick up more Instacart orders. I mean, this right here, like, it seems all right, but it's no longer available. The problem I'm seeing with this car is that after I spent like an hour in that Taco Bell, it took a little bit longer to start it. And I don't know if that's like a battery issue, like because I'm having my camera and my phone charging in it, Hopefully it's not, but we'll monitor it. Hopefully it's not like an issue like a fuel line or something. All right, we're in the North Lake area of North Carolina. So we're gonna fire up DoorDash, and it's given $3 an hour peak pay. So we're gonna take that. There we go, Firehouse Subs. And because we're not heathens, we're gonna turn off all the other apps. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see if how fucked we are. Oh, crank's just fine now. One thing I'm definitely not a fan of is this Charlotte traffic. Like, it's on the level of like DC, Chicago, and Atlanta, I want to say. Nobody told everybody to move all here from New York and New Jersey and drive prices up as well as create traffic. So here's my conundrum right now. I was picking up this Uber Eats order for 7-Eleven, and it's supposed to take me down that road. The problem is it has a bunch of deep crater like potholes in there that this small little Honda Civic can't get through. I called the customer. They said they wouldn't be able to get to where I am for another half hour. I'm online with Uber support to see what the hell I'm supposed to do here. Do I go back, have the order canceled, wait for the customer? 30 minutes is way too long. Update, the customer came and picked it up. I told them where I was and showed them where it was that I was going to drive, and now I can't even mark the delivery as confirmed. So now I'm on hold again with support. Well, this will make for good content. Good God, that was the delivery from hell. Oh God, that's gonna cut down on our earnings today. I'm not filming every single DoorDash pickup. Like, I had an Uber Eats at Bojangles. It took way too long, so I canceled it. And I got a double here with Wendy's and some soul food restaurants. As if this day couldn't go any worse, we are stuck at a railroad crossing where a train that is barely moving. Is it stopping? Oh my God. Well, good thing I texted the customer and let him know I was going to be late. Luckily, it was a short train, so now we're going to get going, but God, that could have been a lot worse. All right, so not a horrible day DoorDashing and Uber Eatsing. We made about $166 after expenses. I'm not sure if we'll be at our daily average, but we'll see. But I'm kind of calling an audible right now, and I'm actually going to go back home. This is an older car. It has 324,000 miles on it. Problem is, I hear the transmission kind of shifting funny. It's not like really hard, like Nessie would occasionally have really hard shifts. Nothing on that level, but it's still a bit concerning. I feel like if I were to have mechanical problems, it would be better to be closer to home than to be stranded. And I'm contemplating whether or not I should continue even sleeping in my car. I wanted to do this challenge with the extreme of like, what if you had nowhere to go? But I want to believe that most people would have an option, so I may contemplate just going back home and sleeping there and still doing the $3,600 challenge. Now, many people may consider this cheating, that I'm using rewards points in this challenge, but I want it to be a lesson to sometimes have unfair advantages. Like, if you eat at a particular fast food place a lot, sign up for their app. You'll get points, and it'll come in handy if you become homeless. All right, we are at the Cracker Barrel in Greensboro. We have made $166 and change today. Spent $22 on gas and a few other expenses, but we're ending today with a balance of $171.95. And I did some calculations. If I did work the morning, I would have my average of $140 a day that I'm aiming for. The reason that we're at where we're at right now is because of the leftover $30 from our budget. So I'm fairly confident that doing it every single day, get up in the morning, putting in 12-hour days we'll be able to get to that goal, including taking off Mondays. I planned on doing that anyway, but now that I'm a bit closer to home, I think I actually will go home on Mondays. Like, I finish up Sunday night, come back home, spend all day at the house, and then Tuesday head back out. That's the end of day one. I'm gonna turn down for the night. Catch y'all tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the $3,600 DoorDash challenge. It's on a cold Saturday morning here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Just kind of waiting for the car to get warm. All right, I'm gonna go in Walmart, freshen up a bit, pick up some supplies, and then we'll get to work. All right, we got protein shakes and water. These are very good breakfast. Usually I go for the chocolate flavors, but all they had was caramel and vanilla, and I went with caramel because that's what I prefer over vanilla. I'm not really a vanilla type of person in more ways than one. Damn it, son. Alright, it's about 8:35. Let's see if I can catch the tail end of the breakfast crowd here. Peak pay until 9:30. That should bode well for us. First order of the day, Mickey D's. Let's go. Look at her. Or him. Still haven't decided on a name yet. So something else I'm thinking about with this challenge is just trying to make it interesting throughout the day. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm not doing like a daily upload is, one, like my workflow is completely changed because I have a new vlogging camera instead of just filming with my phone. So that's something to get used to. And two, if I'm just doing the gig apps all the day, like, that's not interesting content. Like, that would get repetitive really quickly. I mean, obviously we can find other ways to make money, but at the same time, like, this is the most reliable way to do it. So that's something I'm thinking about going forward with this challenge. Quick $6 to start the day. Oh, first Instacart order of this entire challenge at Family Dollar. Had to put a pause on DoorDash just because it's like 10 a.m. Nobody's getting food then. Alright, it's about 2:30. Been dashing since about 8:30 this morning. Done pretty good. Between a bunch of DoorDash orders and one Instacart order, we're at about $110. I'm not going to add that up right now because I'm going to save that to the end. But if I get to my midday break and are at least at $100, then it's a sign that we're going to hit our goal. But anyway, we're here at Taco Bell again. I have 2 more free rewards, and it's happier hour. So I know, doing the same thing I did yesterday, but I'm in it to win it, y'all. Also, the car is handling a lot better today than it was yesterday. Still a little rough on the shifting, but I mean, it's not as bad as it was with Nessie, but I have found where the transmission fluid is. We did buy some stop leak for my transmission, but we'll deal with that after lunch. I'm feeling a lot better about this car today than I did yesterday. Also, y'all remember in the last video, I asked y'all to come up with a name for the new car, and I think we have a winner, but y'all are gonna have to stick around to the end to figure out what it is. Alright, so I'm actually asked Google Gemini about this, and they're saying that this should be just normal wear and tear on it, and adding that fluid thing would not be a good idea right now. Maybe do a drain and fill, not a transmission flush, but a drain and fill. So we'll do that later down the road. It is 324,000 miles, so this is to be expected. And yes, if we had used that stop leak, we would have had to deduct it from the total, keeping in tradition with this challenge. So far, we won't have to, but it is something I do want to get looked at before I take this thing up to like California or Alaska or, oh shit, did I just let the cat out of the bag here? Hope not. Even though I can totally edit that part out, I may or may not edit it out. It was only like not even an hour. Got what we needed to get done, and not only did we check the car, but I also was able to download everything from the first day. Having done social media as long as I have, I know uploading it right now would not be a good idea, since the center topic of mainstream social media is the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna wait and post that. Another lesson I want to drill into y'all is I have a rewards program with Circle K. Like the first 5 fill-ups, you get 25 cents a gallon off. After that deal was done, I always get 5 cents a gallon off now. I also use a PayPal debit card, which gives me 5% cash back. And I also use an app called Upside, which basically gives you cash back rewards on gas, groceries, eating out. I've got a link for that down in the description. Haven't decided yet if I'm gonna count that as towards the total. It's just a good lesson to have. Don't leave money on the table, especially if you end up homeless. This is my favorite place to dash in the Triad, is Winston-Salem North. We're gonna go there. Back to the grind, y'all. All right, we have put in a 12-hour day. I started around 8:35 and ended around 8:45 today. We had a really good day. I mean, granted, it's a Saturday. Duke and Carolina were playing. What else? It's cold in the South, so that worked in our favor. I'm not sure if this is going to be the exception or the rule, but we had a good day today. Today was a great confidence booster, and car held up. Every fear that I had about the mechanics of it has been pretty much quelled. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Stop at the Dollar Tree, pick up some supplies. Hopefully there's a Planet Fitness around that's open that I can take a shower at, because I feel disgusting. And then we're going to try and go to bed, because tomorrow is the big day. I'll tally up all the numbers once I do everything we need to do. The true face of America. Dollar Tree. It's not a true American experience, and unless there's at least 3 crackheads in front of you in line. One of them's working the register. Now, there is a Planet Fitness that is open 24 hours, but unfortunately it's 45 minutes away, so that's gonna cut into our sleep time. But I feel disgusting, and I haven't had a shower since Thursday, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it. But first, a trip to the best gas station on the East Coast, Sheetz. All you Wawa suckers can suck these nuts. 2 for $1 hot dogs. Beat that, Wawa. $2.33 for that and a soda. Yeah, hot dog. Tastes like savings. Am I upset that I had to drive all the way to Burlington to come find a 24-hour Planet Fitness? Yeah. But I'm disgusting, so I need to shower. I'm more upset of that sign over there that says no overnight parking. I feel much better after that. I'm so, like, disorganized when it comes to going into the gym and just showering. Like, I just need to get better at that. I mean, I do have the membership, so I should use it to actually work out. I didn't grab a gym bag when I left home. We'll have to see what I can get on Monday. I have another problem right now, and that my jack knee is down to 10%. I don't know how that happened. I guess I just didn't charge it. Like, it was at like 40% when, like, this morning. I don't know how it got down to 10. And that's what I used to heat up my blanket, my sleeping bag. So, man, this might be a multiple layers night. We have returned to the Cracker Barrel. I'm gonna pop the trunk to see if we have something in there. I'm always paranoid I'm gonna lock myself in. That's why I always put my window down. You have a lot of stuff in here that I can't use yet because I haven't bought it. I think it's back there. This is all stuff we can use when we get on the actual road after this challenge is done. Here it is. Nope, we don't have it. I was trying to see if we had a charger, like a block charger, but we don't. And again, we can afford it, but I swear to God, I left one at the house, and I'm gonna wait till then. Well, we ended today with $345.69 in our total budget. I'll list all the other expenses of the day here. I'm gonna go to bed and hopefully not freeze. I got my blanket in my sleeping bag, able to get my battery up to 21%, so we should be okay. But luckily we're going home tomorrow, so we'll solve this problem. I'll catch y'all tomorrow for day 3. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of this challenge, the final day of the first YouTube video that we're going to do. And oh my god, it is freezing outside, 19 Fahrenheit. But luckily, my power station held up and was able to power my sleeping blanket all night, and we were able to stay pretty warm, in addition to the blanket being in there. I'm at the Walmart parking lot just off of Wendover in Greensboro. I slept at that Cracker Barrel, but I was hoping to stay asleep a little bit longer, but unfortunately nature called, and might be a little TMI, but it got me up. It's not even 7:30 yet, so I'm just gonna sit here, have my protein shake, and then about 8 o'clock we'll get to the deliveries, because it is the big granddaddy of them all, Super Bowl Sunday. Alright, we have let the car warm up enough, so we're gonna go top off the tank and then fire up the delivery apps. Also, by the way, before anybody asks, and they probably already have, I tried signing up for Spark from Walmart and Amazon Flex, and they were full in this area, so yeah, that's not gonna bode well for us. Might be a sign of how things are in 2026. I mean, I see DoorDash advertising all the time that they need drivers, so I think there's plenty of opportunity there. And also Uber Eats and Instacart. Just a little food for thought there. Pun totally intended, by the way. Completely full. That was only like $6.50. So now it's time to fire up the delivery apps. I'm gonna go by time. No, I'm gonna do by offer at first, just because we'll be more likely to get the grocery orders. That's really what we're looking for here. I actually decided to switch back to per hour just for the morning. There we go. Around 10, that's when I'll switch back to per offer. That way I get the grocery orders. All right, about an hour and a half of dashing. It's 9:30 now. Made about $44, which is a pretty good rate. Now I switched to earn by offer so I can get these grocery orders. First one of the day. That was perfect. Remember how I said that I'm gonna do by offer so I can get those grocery orders? Yeah, that was a bad idea. Realizing that all the grocery stores are pretty much picked clean because people that actually did their shopping a couple of days ago, or they're gonna, you know, order pizza or you know, wings or something. Yeah, I'm going back to hourly now. I mean, I've been doing really good, but at the same time, I'm not trying to. This is more my pace right here. So I totally did not realize that my camera was still on time-lapse mode, because I made one when I was getting my card ready for the day ahead, and I just forgot to switch it back. But I stopped around 1:20, decided to take my lunch break at the Taco Bell. I had one reward left, and apparently on Sundays they don't do happier hour. Maybe not at this location of Taco Bell, but I spent a little more on Taco Bell than I was hoping for, but made my goal of getting to $100 by lunch break, which we're at like 111 right now. So we're in good standing. And in that video I did say I was gonna tell you my little Super Bowl bet, but because it's in time lapse, you don't have that, but I'm gonna tell you now. I put a little wager on tonight's Super Bowl. Jackson Smith over 100 reception yards, Stephon Diggs over 75 reception yards, Cooper Kupp over 25 reception yards. Put $10 on it. We lose it, we lose $10, but if we hit the parlay, that's 120 towards this challenge. Keep in mind, I'm not really that great of a gambler. I don't condone gambling, but I'd like to change things up a little bit with this challenge, not just be doing the gig apps to make money and get to that goal. Like I said at the beginning, we can make money any way possible, and this is a way to do it. Not a reliable way to do it if you don't know what you're doing, and even if you think you know what you're doing, it's not really a reliable way to make money. But anyway, let's get back to work. Just before 2 o'clock, we're gonna go ahead and fire up the delivery apps again. I'm gonna do by time, that way none of the last minute grocery shoppers come my way. I guess I'll fire up Instacart just to see. You know what? No, not gonna do Instacart. No. I will do Uber Eats though. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid Instacart. Not doing those online, not doing those grocery ones. And my plan, since the Super Bowl is gonna officially start at 6:30, I'm gonna dash until about the end of the first quarter. I feel like most people have their orders in by then. Good God, waited 15, 20 minutes in the Papa John's, and like they tried to hand me half of an order and was just like, seemed like completely brain dead about where that other pizza was. Like, it's just the reality of
onto 16th Street.
Working a Super Bowl. Ah, so mad that I can't even form complete sentences. I just need to remember back to when I was that age and have a bit more compassion. I tried to be as polite as I possibly could, letting them know it's been too long, I'm gonna unassign, and then just handed them back. But it just doesn't seem right to hand them half of an order. You know what I mean? I shouldn't complain too loudly about it. I've been that age before, and I've been in that position before. One of my first jobs was Papa John's, and I know it's a lot to keep up with. It's about 6 o'clock. The game's gonna start at 6:30. I went a whole 15 minutes without an order, so I went ahead and cashed out, and total for that full day is $173.64 plus a $5 cash tip. That's up to $178.64. So we'll do the calculations and see if we were profitable today, or at least on pace. What I'm doing now is I'm gonna go home. Many people might say that's cheating with this homeless challenge, but I want it to also be a lesson that relationships, whether it be with your family or your friends, are more important now than ever. You know, don't take advantage of them, but for sure, we all have at least someone that can let us crash on a couch for like a day or a week, maybe even a month, maybe even a year. I do understand that there are people out there that don't have that option, so that's why I'm only doing it one day out of the week and spending the rest of the time living in the car. But first, sheets. And because I had points on my account, I was able to get that from $2.53 down to $2.30. 10 cents a gallon off, plus 3 cents a gallon, which is what you usually have when you scan your thing. More 2-for-1 hot dogs. No, I don't need cheese. Mustard, onion, sauerkraut. So used to this. Also grabbed a small fountain drink. Got Arizona green tea with some mango flavor and some chocolate peanut butter no bake. All that for $3.66. I'm watching the game in my mom's room because they're downstairs watching Yellowstone on repeat for the umpteenth time. And Mr. Kitty is not impressed by it at all. By the way, you'll probably thought I forgot to name the new car, but I think we have a winner, and it is Leonidas. Suggestion from Dan the Man. He had a good reason for it, because this is Honda. If you don't get that reference, we can't be friends. I gotta be honest, I really don't know any songs from Bad Bunny, but I know watching this instead of that other bullshit is gonna piss somebody off, and I am so happy about that.
Reigns above them all.
Well,
NFL, the Seahawks, Super Bowl champions for the second time.
And my parlay did not hit. Oh well. But you'll notice that it was a no sweat bet, so we don't have to count it against the total. So we can use that next week for the Daytona 500. So today we ended with a total of $486.37 for the entire challenge, which we're averaging about $162.12 a day, which is much higher than the $139 we need in order to get to where we need to be in 30 days. So we are on pace. Now, granted, last weekend could have been a bit of a fluke. One on Friday, we started at around 11. We didn't get the morning crowd. And also, Saturday was the Duke of Carolina game, and Sunday was the Super Bowl. Maybe that's a fluke. We'll see how things look the coming week. And also, this coming weekend's another big weekend with Valentine's Day, the Daytona 500, and President's Day, aka a day off. We are starting part 2 of our homeless to $3,600 challenge. Last night we stayed at my Nana's house. I guess it'll be 2 nights, like Sunday night and then all of Monday, just to simulate being able to crash at a family or a friend's house. Even though like there's plenty of people that don't have that option, I will keep that in mind and stay in the car the rest of the time, except on Monday, so I could come home, edit the videos. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the challenge for many of you, but in solidarity with the people who don't have that option, I am deducting $7 for laundry to simulate if you had to go to a laundromat. And it is on Tuesday. It is, shoot, still ice down on here. This coming weekend is probably going to be a really profitable weekend as well, because it's Valentine's Day, Daytona 500, and President's Day, aka a federal holiday where all the kids are home. This should be a good weekend for gig apps. I mean, hopefully we find some other ways to make money during this time, but again, that's the more reliable way to do it. I mean, I love my family, don't get me wrong, but I would be glad to get out of this driveway here. Basically, that slope is so slick with all of the snow on it and my rinky-dinky Leonidas that will not die has a flaw in that, you know, it doesn't do well in the snow. So I had to get it in reverse and get a little bit of a running start to get the car all the way up, because when I was driving it up forward, it was slipping. So I'll be glad to not have that. Let's see about getting out of this driveway in ice. Probably shouldn't be holding a camera while doing this, but my Meta glasses stayed out in the cold and they need to be charged, so this is what y'all get. Of course, I don't have to do this, but makes for interesting content. There we go. Sliding on? No, we're not sliding. We're not sliding. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're out. This week I will probably go home Monday night as opposed to Sunday night, because the kids are out of school on Monday, so we will take advantage of that and DoorDash that day too. It's also funny, when I was editing last video, I was just taking a little break, looking through my emails, and turns out my car insurance company tried to put my father on my insurance. And the funny thing is, my father has been dead since 2019, and even if he was still alive, we did not speak for the last 9 years of his life. So kind of funny that how that happened, but I don't know. I won't go into too many details on the main video. I might put it in, like, you know, members only video, but basically the story is he's the typical deadbeat dad, and traveled the world for his job, and like a lot of my good attributes do come from him, like my love for travel, my love of a good beer and spicy food and barbecue and NASCAR, football, rock and roll music, country music, all came from him. But it's like been a mission in my life to not be the asshole that he is, and, you know, the con artist that he is. So yeah, basically the last time I spoke to him was August of 2009. Well, that's the last time I saw him. The last time I actually spoke to him on the phone was like January 2010, I want to say. And I vividly remember the day that, well, the month that he passed away. It was January 2019. It was the first weekend of it. And my ex and I, we actually drove down from Annapolis to Charlotte to see, because I just didn't know if I had anything to say to him. I mean, shout out to my stepbrother, Andreas, and I'll get to that part of the family in a second. But he let me know, like, the night before, like that night, that, you know, he had a ruptured aorta and liver failure, because, like, in addition to his assholery, like, he drank like a fish, smoked like a chimney, and ate gravy on everything but my stepmother. And my ex and I got down to whatever Charlotte hospital it was. I think it might have been in Concord or something, at like 5 in the morning, because we drove through the night. And we were able to see him. The medical doctors let us go, and I was able to see him. Like, he was like hooked up to a bunch of IVs, and it was just a mess. And my ex and I, we then left, and we went down to the parking lot, and I sat there for a good 20 minutes to try and figure out if I wanted to say anything to him. And with all of the things that he did to me, like, some things I won't even talk about on here, like, have just really screwed me up. I knew that if I went back in there and confronted him, that it would turn into a metaphorical or maybe even a physical bloodbath. And I didn't want to put my stepmother or my stepbrother or stepsister in the middle of that. So I made the decision, and we left. And I don't regret that decision at all. Like, in fact, the highlight of that was the fact that my ex and I actually did a quickie at some Civil War remembrance thing outside of Richmond, which is pretty hot. But fast forward to like the next week, whatever that next Thursday was, Daniel, ETS Daniel, and I went out to a local show in Annapolis where Ballyhoo, Brandon from Bumpin' Uglies, and Jawworks were playing. And it was during that show, it was during Ballyhoo's set, that I got a text from Andreas, my stepbrother, really like my brother. Like, here's the thing, like, me and him and my stepsister Natalia and my stepmom were actually really cool with each other, and nothing to do with my father. That's neither here nor there. But he texted me that my father had gone back to the hospital, and that was like, I don't know, 10 at night or something like that. And then it was after the set, all the music was done, about 1 a.m. I finally got the text from Andy. He didn't make it. And I said back to him, thanks for the info. And then after that, like, this was crazy. Like, I had to work the next day. I was still driving school buses at the time. Kind of wild that I was out drinking on a Thursday night and had to go drive school buses in the AM. But after my mid-morning shift, my mid-morning break, I came back to my ex's house. I got Daniel, brought him back. It was like an hour away. And then on the way back to work, I just pulled over on the side of the highway and just started crying, like, uncontrollably, because and the phrase that I kept re-muttering to myself was, he can't hurt me anymore. And I've definitely healed from that. So, another piece of the puzzle for y'all. And it took him accidentally being added to my car insurance policy 7 years after his death to finally tell that story. One downside of living an hour away from the closest major city to go DoorDash in is that you do burn gas. But, I mean, come on, we all have things we have to do. So, I guess this could simulate some errand you have to run. So, I think it fits into this challenge. So, we're gonna get gas. We'll probably get some breakfast, just chill for a little bit, because it's only 9:42 right now, and lunch crowd isn't going to start up until about 11 o'clock, so we're going to just sit for a little bit. One of the more expensive sheets around. And I guess location, you can charge more. It is off the highway. That was only $5 though. 2 for $6, 5 to 10 a.m. A little more than I wanted to spend today, but we'll make up for that later.
And what's really interesting when you get into the Pew Research underneath it is the reason.
Man, I don't know why I fall down these YouTube rabbit holes of like, one I was watching was the declining birth rates, like one of those reaction channels that put together compilations of like TikToks and other stuff. For one, if I were to re-enter the reaction game, that's the type of stuff that I would be doing and not copyrighted content. Been there and done that with copyrighted content. The juice was just not worth the squeeze, but I'm not going to get into that anymore. But I guess the topic of that video was the declining birth rates. I'm just putting it out there that I have just accepted that I'm never going to own a home, and I'm probably never going to have children of my own unless, like, I either donate sperm to somebody or I move to somewhere in South America or Southeast Asia where you can live off of $1,500 a month. I think that's kind of like why I wrote a song with a lyric that says the new American dream is to leave. Whether I'm able to leave is a whole other story. That's why I'm trying to get my US bucket list out the way. That way I can leave finally. If I were to stay in this country, this is my living situation going forward, is living in the car and traveling as much as possible. It's just reality in 2026 and most likely beyond, because I just don't see it getting any better. Going hand in hand with that, my takeaway from the Super Bowl ads is that the entire American economy is being propped up by AI, weight loss drugs, cryptocurrency, and gambling. The true face of America. Well, it's 10:55 and I'm still falling down rabbit holes of like, oh, nobody's having kids anymore. The economy is bad. Layoffs are happening. Make content after you've been laid off your job. I gotta get to work. Yet here I am making a video about, hey, what if you lost your job, got evicted? What would you do then? The irony is not lost on me, I promise. The good news is, for today, it is gonna be in the 60s, an actual heat wave in January, not in February. Golly, that is messing with my brain so much I can't even remember what month it is. But God, time to get the lunch crowd. Alright, first order of the day comes to us from Papa John's. I guess somebody needed a day break from pizza, and now they're back to it. The snow will probably be gone by, I don't know, a day or two, since we're getting practically a heat wave. Alright, so we have a bit of a problem. My check engine light is on, and my drive thing is flashing, so that's fucking fun. Right in the middle of a delivery, like, all the display just went down, and like something to do with the brake, and I'm just gonna have to get this fucking diagnosed. Well, the check engine light is still on, and at least the green
turn right onto Stanley
drive thing is not.
Then turn left.
That green, I can't even talk. God damn it. At least the green light is not flashing anymore, so I hate when this happens right in the middle of a dash. Like, can't you just wait till like a more convenient time? Anyway, I'm gonna finish this order in particular, and then I'm gonna take it to like an Advanced Auto Parts or something and get that check engine light looked at. I dropped off that order and only made $7 between two orders. This is a bad area to be dashing in. Definitely not my favorite. Now we're gonna head to O'Reilly Auto Parts and get this check engine light checked. I mean, the challenge could end today if that's what the deal is. If it's too expensive of a fix. Car seems to be driving fine, but hopefully it's not a thing where it's either a really expensive fix or it's something that can wait. Like, you never want to ignore a check engine light. In Nessie, the O2 sensors were the problem, and I ignored that, and I paid the price for it. So hopefully this is not a case of that too. All right, well, this is what came back. So, and I plugged it into Google Gemini, and it's likely the computer on my car has lost communication with the instrument cluster. It could be a battery or a blown fuse or a loose connector. Also, my ABS code is indicating a faulty right front sensor. It's something to look at, but it's not an immediate thing, and based off of Google Gemini, like, this shop cost could be up to like $1,100. So I think we're okay for now, but it is something we are going to look at for the future once this challenge is done. And unfortunately, because I don't have that money right now in the upper echelon of it, I got to go out and earn it. So yay, something for the plot to thicken. And would you look at that? The check engine light is off. So it's definitely an electrical issue. Nothing to do with the actual, like, cars, like engine or suspension or something like that. Whew. That was close. I mean, it could always come back on, but for now, we're still good. Oh, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Finally, people are rejecting Epstein's best friend. This is fucking beautiful. I am sad about KNW though. So also, I know that it's an electrical issue with this car, with Leonidas, because with Nessie, sometimes the check engine light would go off. Y'all probably noticed, like, during the Road to Route 66 and Route 66 series, that the check engine light for Nessie was on all the time. But sometimes it would be off. Knowing that these things can come and go, it's definitely an electrical issue. God, I just had a delivery to a school, a high school, and good God, I felt out of place. I mean, it's probably a good thing that I feel out of place, because I'm 33 years old and I shouldn't feel in place there. I think they made a mistake, and they just gave me a free medium pepperoni pizza. So lunch is covered. Look at that beauty right there. I have a piece now, more at lunch, and more at dinner. Damn, it's still hot. All right, we have made about 36 bucks, and I mean, there's a lot of factors with that. One, we didn't get the breakfast crowd. Two, we had the check engine light scare, which definitely ate into our profit. And three, it's Tuesday, and the Tuesday after the Super Bowl and before Valentine's Day. So I suspect it's going to be quite a slow day. I had an order that was all the way from a Mediterranean restaurant in Greensboro that took me all the way to Summerfield, basically 20 minutes out of the way. So I'm going to use this time as my break, and I'm going to stop at the Walmart, pick up a couple of supplies, and just keep the apps on all day, because we're pretty much going to have to get what we can get. Like, the fact that I got a free pizza from Papa John's is definitely helping things, not only with cost, but convenience, that I don't have to purchase it or go out on my way to go get food. I don't even have layers on. I don't even have my jacket on. And it's February. I love this, even though I don't like over there that there are no overnight parking signs. Walmart's supposed to be the grand granddaddy of them all. Here's my Walmart haul. Some wet wipes to take showers when we can't get to Planet Fitness. Some sleep pills in case I have trouble falling asleep. Walmart Pepto, because even though we've got free pizza, the older I get, the less I can handle things like that. So that'll come in handy. Some hand sanitizer and a soda pop, because I got pizza and soda goes well with that. Yep. 1086 for all that. Usually this would be the slow time, but I'm just gonna fire up the stuff anyway, just because we gotta get what we can get. First Instacart order of this episode is at Sprouts Farmers Market. Whole bunch of stuff that I don't know what the hell it is, but I'll probably get someone to help me shop it. It's usually what I do anyway. It's a bunch of incense. Aha. Take that, male Instacart shopper stereotypes on TikTok. Like, I really gotta get my Instacart numbers up. And Instacart's really where the money is, not really DoorDash. More money picking up people's groceries than there is picking up their Taco Bell. There we go. It's definitely been a slow afternoon. Like, I don't know why I did it like this, but what I did instead is I would work on Mondays and take Tuesday off last year when I was, doing dashing full time, and Tuesdays were always a slow day, so I don't know why I decided to do it this way. The fact that I'm going to do it this coming week is probably what I'm going to stick with going forward. Not just because this coming Monday is President's Day, but Monday is actually one of the best weekdays. Like, there we go. We finally got something. Chipotle. Because, you're starting the week and, a lot of people just don't have time for this bullshit after coming off the weekend. And also, grocery orders are good then. Yeah, next week and going forward, we'll do Mondays and take Tuesdays off. Always lovely when you get pulled over. Said I had a taillight out, so literally on a dash right now. I'm 3 minutes away. Hope this doesn't take too long and something comes up. Like, I don't know what would come up, but just something. Not just the second time we've had mechanical problems today. All right, well, they let me off with a warning, thank goodness. And just a repair order. Well, not a repair, just a warning. Nothing that's gonna go on my record. I guess after this dash, we're gonna head to the auto parts store again for the second time today. Oh shit, he was right. That one's completely out. Alright, to the auto parts store we go. Well, that's where the light in question is. And that would be how you put it in. And there we go. We got it out. There it is. The one that should be. I just had to pull this thing out. So I was trying to pull this part out, but that wasn't it. Alright. Popped it in. Screwed it in. There we go. Moment of truth. Yeah, it works. Woohoo! Now, unfortunately, that is a little more than $10 out of the budget. So, oh well. It's part of the challenge. Gotta stay true to it. We still got a good hour and a half that we can get some deliveries in. So, we're gonna get back to the grind. Today has been the day from hell. I'm gonna go to Sheetz, top off the tank, use their bathroom, and then go to our sleep slot. I am had enough of today. Back at the barrel of the cracker. Oh my god, today was the day from hell. Like, started by getting a late start. I mean, that part, it's my family's place, so I can't really complain about that too much. But in the lunch rush, we had a check engine light, which went away and could come back at any moment now. And then it's a Tuesday, and it's been slow as hell. Then we get pulled over for the taillight being out. That interrupts our dinner flow, which was getting really good. And then had two orders back-to-back that had very long wait times. One was at Papa John's, a different Papa John's. Like, I don't know why DoorDash gave me the order, let me go there, when it still had like a 15 or 20 minute wait. Same with East Coast Wings. And that one, like, I have this thing I do, and most Dashers do this, where the algorithm will tell you what time you're supposed to be picking up that order. And if the order is not ready by the time the algorithm says that it's supposed to be ready, I will send an automated message to the customer to say, like, order's taking a long time, or or still waiting on your order or something like that. And this is one of the few cases where the customer was a total fucking Karen and actually called the restaurant, which you're not supposed to do that. And the people working at East Coast Wings told me how much of a Karen that customer was, so I just unassigned the order and went on my merry way. With all that said, the car still cranks, car is still running fine. We got a free pizza today. We didn't have to spend as much on food today as we could have, and we can save the protein shakes and cans of soup for later on, which is a really good thing. In terms of the numbers today, we started out with $486.37, and we ended today with $551.16. We only profited $64.97, way under the average daily profit that we need, which is $139. But hey, we didn't do the breakfast rush. It's a Tuesday, and you can't win them all. It's just as much, like a competitive thing as it is a fact-finding mission. And this will be the reality. Like, Tuesdays are a bad day. Like, if I'd gone back in time, I would have worked Monday and would have taken Tuesday to go back home and get back at it on Wednesday. But with tomorrow being Ash Wednesday, I don't know if that's going to increase orders or decrease it, but we'll find out. This is the end of day 5. Catch y'all tomorrow for day 6. Well, good morning. But hopefully this is not the end of the challenge, because I feel like we have a dead battery. And luckily I have a jump starter, so hopefully that's what the problem is. Yeah, we're gonna have to deduct this from the total if this is what is the problem. Battery does look old as hell. Jesus Christ. Well, hopefully that works. Wow. Well, definitely was the battery, so I'm gonna have to let that run for a little bit. Well, I've let it run for a couple minutes. Hopefully it's just like a bad battery or something. Like, I'm gonna drive it just to the Walmart parking lot. Like, as you can see, the heads-up display is not there. I need that. I mean, I'm hoping it's just a bad battery. I feel like I left this on last night. Maybe that's what did it. Alright, let's turn it off and then turn it back on. See if the battery will put the display back up. Like, even the radio right now is not working. Alright. Yeah. I mean, it cranks. It's fine, but the heads-up display is not up, and that's a problem. The fact that we only have $550 right now, and yeah, that's not looking well for the challenge right now. Yeah, this is the exact reason that I decided to come back to the Triad. That way, if something did happen, I'd be close to home. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to unload everything that, indicates that I live in my car. When I do take it to a mechanic, they don't try and upcharge me because they know I live in it and will try and upcharge me. I mean, like, look at this. Like, it's not even showing how fast I'm going. Like, I had to literally put on navigation to my own home that, I've lived in this area basically my whole life, or half my life at least. So I don't need navigation, but I'm putting on now, that way I know how fast I'm going. So 2 things. One, and I'm realizing now that the fact that I am going home, and many people may not have that option to go home before we take this to a repair shop, like, it might mean the end of the challenge anyway. I haven't decided yet. Because in that scenario, like, you would have, like, family or friend that you'd be staying at anyway. You wouldn't be sleeping in your car, or like, you would have to spend money on a hotel or something while your car is getting repaired. So, I don't know, man. This might be the end of the challenge no matter what we do. I had to, get my jump starter to start this thing, and when I went to start it, it has this thing, I don't know, like something was still on, even though the car was not on, which was killing the battery, so I had to jump start it again to be able to even start it. Right now, I'm going to the Dollar General in Stoneville to just pick up some jugs of water and a gallon of milk. So hopefully we won't need to jump start it again, and whatever was still on when I went over to the car is not on again. Let's see if the whatever was still going. Yeah, something is still like running. I don't know what it is. Yeah, my radiator's still going. Like, hopefully that's like the problem with the cluster not shutting everything off. Moment of truth. Alright, well, it didn't, wasn't in Dollar General more than like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. So, did not drain the battery completely. But with the amount that I'm waiting, that probably will need to jump start it every single time. Luckily we have that. So update, I was able to call local Honda dealership like in Martinsville. It's about 15 minutes up the road from where I am, and good news is they were able to find a new cluster, which is the name for the dashboard where my miles per hour is, my gas tank, and all that. And it's a price that I can pay in cash, and I have an appointment with them at 10:30 on Friday. So cautiously optimistic that we can get this car fixed and get back on the road. What it means for the challenge is I don't know yet, because they quoted me at a price that we can afford, but at the same time, like, I don't know if we're going to be able to get to the $3,600 in the 30 days, because we had a major expense and I've lost a couple of days of working, and I can't make content out of just sitting at home doing nothing. Can't make money sitting at home doing nothing. I mean, I could count my social media income from all my YouTube channels, but I said at the beginning that I'm not going to do that, because that's not fair to everybody who doesn't have that. Like, I may change the amount that we're going towards, or whatever I decide to do, people are going to get mad about it anyways, and there's no pleasing everybody with it. So we're just going to have to roll with the punches. But I feel like if we don't go over our budget, then we could continue on the challenge, or at least get to a more reasonable price point, because I was looking on Google AI, and like, if you're in the situations that I described at the top of this challenge, you're a college student, or have failure to launch, or you did everything right and you still got screwed anyway, then you'd be looking for like just a regular studio apartment just on your own. And that, the average price for that in North Carolina is $1,350. So I'm thinking what we do is we double that with security deposit, make the new goal line $2,700. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Speaking of that, right now I'm starting to get comments back from the first episode, and most of the people are very positive and very receptive to this, and I appreciate that. But a couple seem to be quite confused as to my intentions with this. And I just want to put out there that my intention when I started this was, I knew before I started any more travels that I would have to build up an emergency fund before I got back out on the road. And my thought process was to make content with it, make a fun little challenge, see if we could make up not just enough first month's rent plus security deposit, but kind of my emergency fund for when I get back out on the road, because you just never know. And with this little hiccup in the road, I'm kind of questioning
how we move forward with this challenge. Like, I saw one post in a Reddit thread about busking, which, by the way, hello to everybody who's new here, came over from Reddit. This is not my usual content, but I'm glad you're here anyway, and I hope you'll stick around. Someone was posting about how they basically replaced doing DoorDash with busking. And if you've been following this channel a while, you know during the Road to Route 66 series, I kind of fell back in love with busking when we did it in Asheville and in Alexandria. I've been thinking I would love to get back into doing that, not only because it's a lot of fun and I still have music in me, but I don't want to be putting a shit ton of miles on Leonidas, even though it is a Honda Civic and they're not supposed to die. But as you can see, they do come with their problems. And that was something else I was thinking about, doing a homeless challenge, not just, you know, in my rinky-dink area of North Carolina, but also, like, do 2 months as a homeless musician in Nashville and see how far I can make it in the music industry. Or do 2 months as a homeless actor, seeing how far I can make it in the film industry in Los Angeles. And by the way, I did kind of want to do that last fall when I was out in California doing Route 66, but I got a little bit homesick and I needed to leave them Tijuana girls alone. So that's why I decided to come back, which in hindsight was the right move considering Nessie's demise. Main reason that I'm questioning whether or not we continue on the challenge is because I wanted to do this challenge from the perspective of someone who doesn't have any options. I mean, granted, I agreed to do like 1 day a week back at the house to simulate some connection you have, whether it be a family member, a friend, or a kind stranger. I'm doing that for multiple days, so I'm debating whether or not I should, I don't know, count like a cheap hotel stay in that. I guess it'll depend on what our budget looks like after we get this repair done on Friday. I'm also seeing some comments from TikTok, which are always such a joy to see. You know, a few of them are being quite smug, like saying, oh, I have skills, I don't have this issue. Like, good for you. Like, I hope that you don't, if you're in this type of situation, that you have some skills to fall back on that can get you back to employment in less than 30 days. But that's the whole point of this challenge, is to hypothesize, what if you didn't? What if you had no other options? And me personally, I do have a commercial driver's license, and I could potentially go get a CDL job, but at the same time, if you've been following this channel a while, in August, I got popped for a drug that I've never taken in my life, and that's kind of ruined my prospects with that. So I am at that point where I really don't have too many options. I mean, I could make a new, like, doom and gloom reaction channel, not copyrighted content, but that's pretty much my only option at this point. Alright, let's figure this out. I'll update y'all with everything else, but this has been my main concern of the day. That didn't do anything. No, that didn't do anything either. I think I found the culprit. This guy right here. See, those are still running, draining the battery. When I pull this out, it stops. Now I gotta figure out which one that one is. I may have saved a whole bunch of money just now. Obviously, I do need it to drive, so I'm gonna plug it back in. But this is your last trip with me, son of a bitch. Of course, the ghetto way of doing that, probably to circumvent that problem, would be every night before you turn down, I turn out for the night, I would just take that relay out and just stick it there somewhere, and before I crank the car, I would plug it back in. But that's a whole lot of extra work. I'll pay the, I don't know, 25 bucks, wherever it is, just to get a new relay. That way I don't have to keep doing that shit. Alright, here goes nothing. You almost sold me one that had different types of prongs on it. Alright, well, the key fob still works. Probably because I took out the faulty thingamabobber. I'm already forgetting words. Fuse box. Oh, are you kidding me? It's still fucking going. God damn it. Now Gemini is saying that it might be like a safety feature of this car, of it, you know, keeping the radiator running for like 2 to 10 more minutes after the car has been turned off. We'll keep that part, but I'm just trying to debate right now, do we go ahead and replace the cluster, or do we just do this shit the ghetto way and just take out the fuse every single time we are gonna leave the car off for quite some time? And I'm leaning towards that second part because that's the cheaper option. If that's really all it is, then, you know, I think we're just gonna do this shit the ghetto way. So to diagnose this problem, I'm gonna cut the car off, set a timer for 15 minutes, and if the radiator is still going at that time, we'll know that that's the culprit, and we'll have to do the ghetto way of keeping our car running. After 5 minutes, it's still running. 10 minutes, and it's still running. Also, I decided to keep the other fuse. This problem is suggesting that the fuse wasn't the problem, but I could just see myself one day forgetting a fuse or dropping it somewhere, so I'm gonna keep 2 on me just in case. Alright, it's been 15 minutes, and damn it. Yeah, you can still hear it. Well, this is good training for if we're doing DoorDash and an order is taking a while. Okay, it still unlocks. And crank it. Still cranks up. So we're going to keep that fuse, and we're going to remove it when we park for more than 15 minutes. So I think we're back in the game, y'all. I really do think we're back in the game. I'm going to get my stuff, and then we're going to get back to the car camping life. This is some ghetto ass shit, I know. But when you're in this type of situation, in real life, you might have to do things like this. By the way, this car is filthy as hell. With all the fucking snow and the salt and all that. I do need to get it through the car wash. Damn it, can I even get this thing on? Holy shit. There we go. Alright. There we go. No dead batteries on our watch. Of course, I probably need to put that back in. But anyway, that'll remind me to put that back in. Alright, let's get packed. Not sure if it's telling of how simplistic my life is or how much little I have to show for it that my entire life fits in a 2011 Honda Civic. And in fact, I don't trust that back there, so I'm gonna put it back here. We all don't see my license plate, even though laws have been passed saying that you cannot get any information from a license plate. So it really wouldn't matter, but I am not taking any chances. Do our ghetto trick. You will not drain this battery. Moment of truth. Yep. Kind of killed the battery a little bit, but with that, it's cranking. We're gonna head back to Greensboro. I don't think I've thoroughly explained what happened. When I went to crank the car this morning, obviously with a dead battery, and I jump-started it, the heads-up display came back. Would I still need to replace the cluster? I don't know. Probably not right now, but it gave me hope that we didn't need to spend all of that money on replacing the cluster. And it may not have even solved the problem at all. Like, that just would have been another, at most, like $350 down the drain, and we would have had to make adjustments. I mean, you guys saw I was able to pull out the fuse and find out what the problem is. So basically, I done saved us $350 and the challenge lives on. Although, because I want to stay in solidarity with the folks that don't have that option to go back to their families, I will deduct a night at a hotel out of the price, and as well as, you know, $10, because you're stressed out. You probably, you know, eat something bad anyway, so I'll deduct $10 off of that too. It's probably not accurate, but for our purposes, that's what we're going to do. When you do see that code error 2 right there, that's because for Honda radios, you have to have like a 5-digit code in order to activate it. And I guess because the battery died, I had to reprogram it. But I just hit a bunch of random numbers, and it probably made it think that I was trying to steal it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go on Honda's website and put some info in. That way I could find the code, because I quickly skimmed through the owner's manual and I can't find it. That's future Spencer problems. But luckily I could still charge my phone, I could still charge my camera, I could still charge power station, so we're good there. I just can't connect Bluetooth and listen to music and, you know, have the navigation go through the speakers. I'll just have to use my phone speaker. First world problems, I know. And I know this probably won't be popular, but I am gonna make a bit of an amendment to the challenge, kind of a caveat, because I did look and see what the average studio apartment rent would be in the state of North Carolina, and that is about $1,350, which, if you double that when you're including a security deposit, that would be $2,700. In my case, you know, I'm a single fella and I don't have a wife or kids, so if you needed more than that, then that would definitely increase. But for the sake of this challenge, it's just me. So I will say that if we are to hit $2,700 by the 30 days, I will count that as a victory. But first, sheets might become the catchphrase of this challenge here. Just like that, where I'm back on the road from Route 66. Oops. Of course, the real test is this going to work twice? Well, it's unlocking, so battery's not dead. Well, that fired back up. Moment of truth. There we go. Alright, the dinner rush is on, so we're gonna go ahead and fire up the delivery apps. First order of the day, Zaxby's. I love it when Instacart totally dupes me, because this order, when I read it, it said it was 0.7 miles. But the flaw of Instacart's app is that it only tells you the mileage from the store to the customer, not from where you are currently, like, you know, DoorDash and Uber Eats does. Instacart, if you're watching this, man, you gotta fix that. Because if I'd known that it was gonna take me 16 minutes out of my way, I would have never taken it. I mean, I'm only still taking it because I don't want to get my cancellation rates any higher. It's like at 13%, and at 15%, that's when your account risks deactivation. So I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place right now. I really got to be looking at these Instacart orders better. I think that might be on me. Well, after a steady evening shift on a Thursday, we made $16.80 on Instacart and made $41.20 on DoorDash, total of $58. Better than nothing, but considering we lost a day and a half of work, something's better than nothing at this point. So, met Sheetz, I'm gonna quickly go in, use the bathroom, top off the tank, and then head off to the Cracker Barrel here in Winston-Salem and turn down for the night. Funny, I used to be the type that would let his gas tank get all the way down to like empty, but now I'm at the point in my life where if it's half full, that's when I start to panic. So I don't know if it's a sign of getting older or not. Another sign of you know, being a responsible human being is I bought a car wash too. So we're gonna take the car through the car wash because it needs it badly with all the salt. We're here at the Cracker Barrel in Winston-Salem. We're gonna grab a can of soup out of the back. Always paranoid. And that will be dinner tonight. You might remember I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought these while I was there. And if you'll recall from the Route 66 series, we're gonna use the engine to heat it up. Let's see, where's a good place to put this? Oh, there you go. That's a good place. I'll set a timer for 10 minutes. Alright, 10 minutes up. Let's pump the trunk and see if that was enough. There we go. That definitely was not. Man, not a lot of places here that are warm. Maybe? There. Yeah, that could work. Here, I'm gonna try another 10 minutes. All right, another 10 minutes gone by. There we go. Let's try this again. I mean, I guess it's warm enough. Yeah, that'll have to do. Oh well, the struggle is real. Have to find somewhere else to in the engine bay to heat because there's just nothing in there that's hot to the touch.
Live aquarium.
We are ending today with a balance of $439.32. We've got our work cut out for us, and hopefully we'll be able to get to that work because I'm gonna have to do a song and dance where I take a fuse out after turning off the car. As you can see, I still have my clothes on. I have the clothes that I'm gonna wear tomorrow, and I have my long johns that I'm gonna sleep in. I have my sleeping bag here that I haven't set up yet. We're gonna do this song and dance. There we go. Pop my trunk. Turn these off so that doesn't kill the battery. And unlock it because it doesn't like it when you crank it and you haven't unlocked it. There we go. Where are you? There you go. No dead battery tonight. If it does die, that means we've got bigger problems. There we go. Stick it right here. And I think enough stuff happened in these last 3 days. There was enough drama that I'm going to make this its own episode. So I'm going to leave you all on a cliffhanger of whether or not my car starts tomorrow. Yay! Here goes nothing. Damn it. Well, that's a good start to the day. There we go. That's a good sign. Thank goodness. Wow. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Spencer Joyce's World. How about that cliffhanger that I left y'all on in the last episode? It's good that the car cranked, so hopefully we don't have that drama in this episode. And hopefully I didn't just jinx it by saying that. But anyway, we're starting today with a total of $437.82. And we're going to deduct a protein shake and also a couple other items. This fan, I had to use that last night. Like, I don't know, even though it was like freezing out, I was hot in the beginning, so I cracked this out. And I remember I bought this for like $10 at Goodwill, so we're gonna deduct that from the total. But you will notice I do have a backpack. I'm keeping my dirty clothes in here. I'm not deducting that from the total because, look, everybody has one. And trust me, just dig around your place. Odds are good you have one, or one of your allies has one. So I'm not counting that. It's about 7:30 right now. I've just been sitting here for the last hour, not wanting to get out of my warm car, and no sense in making deliveries right now because it's early out. So we're going to wait till 8 o'clock and we'll fire up the delivery apps because we have got a big weekend ahead of us. Friday the 13th, Valentine's Day, Daytona 500, and President's Day, kids off of school. It's funny, in the first episode, I was expressing my concern of how I would make this interesting for y'all. Having car trouble is definitely something that'll make it interesting. Not in a good way. We want to avoid that at all costs, but hopefully it made it for quite an interesting episode. Saying it's peak pay time, given an extra $4 now, it's our 8:30, so I'm naturally going to go ahead and start. I am really bad at getting B-roll, so yeah, this is what most of my time looks like. Behind the wheel here. That's why I really don't have any other footage. Class, can you tell me what's wrong with this picture? Like, if it was still a red light? Any guesses? Very, very good. They were on the railroad tracks. They would have gotten clobbered. Well, it's about 2:30 right now. We've been dashing, karting, eating since 8 o'clock this morning. We are at $128, way beyond my usual goal of $100 before we take our lunch. We're back in the southern part of Winston-Salem, right near that Cracker Barrel that we slept at last night, and we're gonna have lunch at Taco Bell again. Yes, I did it all the time in episode 1, but at the same time, I have a coupon for 20% off of $10 or more, so I need to eat a little bit more because all I've had today is a protein shake and a mint from one of the restaurants that I picked up from, and some water. And last night had a cold thing of clam chowder, so we're gonna have a little bit more today as opposed to just getting the free item along with the happier hour drink. We're gonna get a little bit more than that. And of course, you gotta remember, yep, still hear it. Now, of course, we have to remember to put it back in. We didn't put it back in. I think I was reading that maybe like it would flood the engine because we wouldn't be able to read the radiator readings or something like that, and it would, onboard computer would put too much fuel in there, so we don't want that. So we're gonna put this back. Here we go. And don't just leave it there and crank it and within 30 seconds. Although I have left this out when getting a DoorDash order for like 15 minutes and it was just fine. Yeah, just like that. I have a suspicion that this car doesn't really crank well when it has less than half of a tank. So, because this morning it cranked perfectly fine. I mean, maybe it was a little slow because cold weather, but I feel like it's important to try and keep this tank at least, half full most of the times. Kind of goes with what I was saying in the last episode of how paranoid I am of keeping my tank at least half full. Instead of staying in Winston-Salem, I'm actually going to go back to Greensboro to do the evening shift. feel like that would be a bit more lucrative than out in Winston, and there's just a lot more driving out in Winston because it's more spread out. There's not as much driving in Greensboro, so I feel like I won't burn as much gas out there. Granted, all that savings will probably be negated by the fact that I'm driving all the way from Winston to Greensboro, but you get the point. All right, we have gotten to Greensboro. Time to get back to work. 3:12. Got basically 6 hours to make our goal. Good news, we had like 2 or 3 generational orders. Like one was like $22.50 for a Chinese order. One was like $21 for a grocery order. Another was like $16 for a grocery order. And that's helped us make up a lot of money. The bad news is I have a splitting freaking headache and I am just ready to just give up. But it's 6:30. Well, we made, like, I think this is the most money we've made in a day this whole challenge. $229 between a whole lot of DoorDash orders and one Uber Eats order. Bad news is, I think I'm getting sick. I feel like, I can't even form full sentences right now. My head is killing me. I feel sweaty, even when it's like freezing out. I just really hope that it's my body just saying, hey, stupid, get some sleep, because I didn't really sleep that well last night because power bank gave out. But I'm gonna top off the tank, see if there's like some like cold medicine or something I can take in this sheets right here, and then go to our sleep spot for the night. I don't even know if I should be eating this while I'm sick, but Sheets app did tell me that I have a $1.99 MTO pizza flats every Friday. Freaks only. So I think we'll take advantage of that.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pull it out. He's waving us around, TJ.
A lot better than I thought it would be. Is it the best pizza ever? No. But for $2, it's damn good. Also got some of this Arizona RX stuff. Hopefully get me some vitamin C and some other vitamins in me. I've been lacking that this whole challenge. So before I went to bed, I had to pick up some things at Walmart. I forgot at Nana's house my pillow and my toothbrush, toothpaste, and I also needed some more thermal underwear to wear to bed because I only have one pair, sign that I live in the South. Why the hell is it $33.77 for those 4 items? Like, that should be at least like half of that. Inflation in 2026. I guess it's part of the whole thing. Alright, here's our totals for the day. Pause to read, and I'm gonna go to bed and catch y'all tomorrow for Valentine's Day. See y'all then. Bye. Oh, good morning, everybody. It is day 9 of this challenge, and it is Valentine's Day, aka Singles Awareness Day, depending on who you ask. If you ask me, that's what that is. But anyway, we are starting today with a balance of $578.11. This should be a big day, hopefully. But then again, there could be a lot of other gig workers out there that flood the market. So hopefully it's not too horrible. Like the Super Bowl, there was a lot more drivers out there, so more orders got taken up, so I didn't make as much. So hopefully that's not the case for today, aka Valentine's Day. And also, it's weird, like, my car, it cranks just fine in the morning. It doesn't, take a whole lot of time to crank up. But I guess when I'm working it a lot throughout the day, then it starts to get a bit slow. Like when I leave it for like an hour. I don't know. It's weird. But it's about 7:30 right now. We're gonna head up to the Walmart, get freshened up, and then around 8 o'clock, we'll get to work. Also, I am feeling a whole lot better than I did last night. I don't know what came over me. Maybe all I needed was just a good night's sleep. But
I'm not feeling achy. I'm not feeling like I got a splitting headache. I don't know what the hell that was, but hopefully it doesn't rear its ugly head today, and today's going to be a good day. I'm going to manifest that now. Today's going to be a good day. Another homeless tip: when you're in the bathroom, wet your hair down. You don't want your hair to look like, you haven't washed it in a couple of days, even if you haven't. Like, I do have those wet wipes in here to help me, but they don't get my hair. It's always good to wet your hair down every now and again, because that's like a telltale sign that you're homeless. And if you're in this situation, you don't want to look homeless. All right, it's about 8 o'clock, so time to fire up those delivery apps. I would have gotten up a bit earlier, since yesterday it did us quite well, but I had to sleep off that sickness. But today's going to be a good day. I just know it. Oh man, we are definitely getting the amateur hour crowd here when it comes to ordering stuff. Like, I had to decline like 10 Uber Eats orders in a row. Dollars per mile were not matching up. And on Instacart, like, I'm definitely getting more offers, but at the same time, a lot of them include flowers, and I just have this feeling that if I take one of them, I'll get there and there's not going to be flowers left. Like, I shouldn't be punished because some dude forgot to get flowers for their honey bunny. Like, waited until the last minute. Like, come on. No amount of bro code can save that. I'm sorry. I mean, you're already going to spend way too much today on an expensive dinner in a hotel room just to do the same 2 positions that you do at home. But so why would I absorb that responsibility? Man, I gotta figure something out with food here. There was a point in time where I was doing this, DoorDash living in the car thing. In the mornings, all I would have was a protein shake, and that would cover me until lunch. But I'm actually hungry, and I'm not planning on taking my lunch until 2 o'clock. So maybe when we go to Walmart tonight, I'll pick up beef jerky or trail mix. There's something to snack on throughout the day. That way I'm not absolutely starving by the time 2 o'clock rolls around. So this has been chirping for at least 2 minutes now. I tried swiping the app up to get rid of it, but it's still there. This is my personal hell. It is about 2:20, and we have done really well today. $141 before the lunch break. Like, that is a sign that today is going to be a really profitable day. I mean, hopefully. Maybe more people will come out in the evening time and flood the driver pool, and not as many people will get stuff. But it's been a good day. And again, we're at Taco Bell. I don't mean to be doing the same thing every single time, but that happier hour really does come in clutch, and Taco Bell is one of the more healthier fast foods. Not to say it's completely healthy. I'm just trying to, not put on a whole bunch of pounds. Plus, the rewards keep piling up. Like, I've got 10% off of a $5 purchase or more, and I've also got another free item. So, gotta take free where you can get it. I'm in it to win it, y'all. I promise tomorrow we'll change it up a bit. Might be in the hood. Only in Greensboro. Made that quick because we are in the hood. There's an older car, so we're gonna put some of that in before we fuel up. Alright, we're fueled up. And fueled up. Let's get back at it. God, I feel so bad right now. I picked up an order from Cracker Barrel and was delivering it to this nursing home, and it had 3 big drinks in it and the sweet tea, and I couldn't carry it in one go, so it was in a drink tray, and I tried to balance that with the teas, and that was a bad idea. The Coke just spilt everywhere. It busted all over the driveway of the retirement home, and I felt really bad because there's a woman in a wheelchair. It tipped me really well too to get the order, but all you could do in that case is just
tell them to go on the DoorDash support and get a refund. So whoever that was, I'm sorry. Oh man, I feel so bad now. Y'all, we have had probably what is going to be our best day of this challenge. Between 2 Uber Eats orders and a crap ton of DoorDash orders, we made $269.87. I mean, that could be because it's Valentine's Day and we hit a lot of like peak pays, but we had a great day. So we are at the Planet Fitness here in Burlington. I'm gonna shower because I smell, and probably gonna go over to the Burlington rest stop, turn down for the night, then obviously gonna fill the tank up for somewhere. I don't know where yet. Pro tip: whenever I travel to hotels, I always make sure to take whatever shampoos or soaps that they have. That way I have some spares whenever I'm traveling. You should do that too. It's funny, I actually just got complimented on my scent by this dude that was in the locker room. It's not gay or anything, and I don't even care if he was. I'll still take it as a compliment, but I just said some shit I stole from the hotel. Oh man, that made me feel good. Also, the last person that I delivered DoorDash for was a cute black girl that wished me a happy Valentine's Day. I guess I still got it. And because there is cash back both at the pump and inside, I think we'll do dinner in there. Still gotta figure out how to warm a can of soup in the engine bay. No roller dogs! They're all sold out. Damn it! Alright, so no roller dogs. I'm gonna find dinner somewhere else. There is that Arby's $7.99 meat in 3 bucks. Y'all sleep on Arby's. I think they're actually really good. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching, but I'm actually gonna pull into this rest area right outside Burlington and sleep for tonight. She's scared to death of sleeping at rest stops. Probably because she watches too many horror stories about it, but it says no overnight parking, so never mind. I will, however, stay here and have my Arby's. Not bad. Not sure why Arby's gets so much hate. I actually do like their buffalo chicken sandwich. And their burger. Alright, well, the rest of that was kind of mediocre. Not really worth it. I could tell because it's like late in the shift, they gave me some old stuff. Oh well, it was $9. What a fucking ripoff. Alright. Let's head to that Cracker Barrel in Burlington. Like, what's the point of a rest stop if you can't rest overnight at it? Like, that's the whole point of a rest stop, is to fucking rest. Like, am I crazy for thinking that? Luckily, there's old Reliable, aka Cracker Barrel. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 10 of our quest to make rent living in a car. Oh god, I am shaky as hell. Day 10 of our quest to living in a car and making rent using only gig apps. Starting with a balance of $776.98 after a generational day yesterday doing Valentine's Day dashing. At the Burlington Cracker Barrel, we're gonna go over across the street to the Walmart and freshen up and get a start on the day. Not gonna do as much today because today is the Daytona 500 and it has been moved up for about an hour because there's weather in the Florida area, and I would like to be able to catch at least like the last hour of it. So we're gonna take an extended lunch today. Plus, I do have a little bit of a sports bet going on with that. Hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come today, but this Dr. Pepper that I got out of the vending machine is warm. I don't know if there's any indication on vending machines that say if something is hot or cold or not. I just assume they're all cold and working if they're out there and lit up, but wanted to get something alongside my protein shake, not only for caffeine to get me through the day, but also calories so that I'm not starving by the time lunch rolls around, especially since we're taking a later lunch today.
I still drink it though. Spent a whole $1 on it. Do I sound like a cheapskate yet or not? All right, 8:24, a little bit later than I was hoping for, but there's $6 an hour peak pay here in Burlington until 9:30, so we're gonna take advantage of that. Man, it took about 5 minutes to get our first order of the day, a Bojangles order for DoorDash. I mean, we got several from Instacart, but they were not worth the time. The pay to item ratio and mile ratio was just way off with them, so didn't bother. Might just be a reflection of the fact that yesterday was a big money spending day. This might be a slow day just because Valentine's Day was a big day and Daytona 500 NASCAR isn't as popular as it used to be, so it may not move the needle like I think it is going to. Well, it has been 15 minutes. I have not gotten a decent order from Uber Eats or Instacart and haven't gotten anything from DoorDash, so I'm actually going to leave Burlington and I'm going to go back to Greensboro. Try and catch the lunch rush for Greensboro. I mean, this is kind of what I get for trying to change it up a little bit since this challenge is kind of getting monotonous at this point. So that's what I get for trying to go out of the area that I know is going to work. I should be more concerned about trying to win the challenge than trying to make, decent content, which is the whole point of making this, even filming it, is, to be able to monetize it on the back end. And I guess I spoke too soon because DoorDash actually offered me a decent Food Lion order here, so we're back in Burlington, y'all. So I have this feeling that because it is raining today, it's probably not a good idea to be lifting my hood and taking out the fuse that keeps my radiator fan going every single time. Only when I know it's going to be more than like 20 minutes, because I don't want water to get into the engine bay. I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster right there. Ah, that feeling you get when you're having an Uber Eats order that's like $9 for 4 miles. You take it because that's a good rate. But you're in line at Burger King. There's only one employee there. I only saw one car there in the parking lot that's not in the drive-thru, and you've been sitting for a good 5 minutes now. Oh my God. I guess it kind of helps to know your area, but this is torture. Finally got out of that line at Burger King. I swear to God that Burger King is like, of all the restaurants I've delivered for, and I've been doing this for about 7 years now, they are the most hit or miss. Like, they're either really, really good or really, really bad. There's no in between. Like, this one, the guy, tried to hand me a chocolate shake at first when it was a vanilla shake and totally, forgot that there was a drink, like a soda with this. Like, oh my God. You can tell when there's something going on, like, I'm mad about something, that's when I start filming. Like, when there's no drama, there's no content. Well, we're definitely getting some variety here because I fell for the oldest trick in the book when it comes to delivery. I accepted an order for a barbecue place, $28 for 20 miles, and I wasn't able to see which direction it went, so because of that, we're all the way in Chapel Hill now. Lovely. But we have, after this Uber Eats order, another one behind it that will put us at our goal for $100 before 2 p.m. I mean, we're going to keep going until 2 p.m. We're actually going to go until like 3:30, 4 o'clock. But with a slow start, we're on pace now. That's just the biggest flaw of Uber Eats is, and also kind of Instacart as well, is that it just allows people to order food or groceries from so far away. I just don't understand that. That's why I get so many trash orders from Uber Eats. Like, obviously, another factor is I just don't have the time in with them. So there is that. But it just boggles my mind. That's why DoorDash has been the king so far with this challenge and just in general. So I'm actually, like, this order right here, those Uber Eats orders took me way out of my zone. Like, all the way to Chapel Hill. So
I'm actually going to go back to Burlington right now. I just put in the Burlington Chili's, but it'll take me like, I don't know, 45 minutes to get back to that zone, because I really do not like working in the triangle area, you know, Chapel Hill, Raleigh, and Durham. I really much prefer the Triad because I know it better. Hopefully this doesn't, you know, screw me, but with everything, we've made our $100 minimum before 2 p.m., so we'll be okay. And besides, I'm not taking a break until between 3:30 and 4, so we've got time to, you know, make some more money. All right, we are back in the Burlington area of DoorDash, so we're gonna fire that up. I'm not gonna fire up Uber Eats or Instacart just yet, because one of them could potentially take me back out of the zone. So we're gonna keep to DoorDash right now. Whew, man, it was 15 minutes before I got an order. Like, I was so far out of the hot zones that shit. But here we go. We've got a Papa John's and some Mexican restaurant, and it's peak pay. It's like, you know, $18.75 per hour, which is usually like $14.75 in Burlington. So we're gonna get that rate. Golf signage takes me back to Route 66 in California. Good times. As you can see right here, it is raining bad, and it's gonna basically continue to downpour, I don't know, till like 8-9 o'clock tonight. It's gonna be a lot of orders out. I mean, but it's a bit treacherous right now, not gonna lie. So I'm debating whether or not to continue on to, like, I don't know, 3 or 3:30. I mean, I was planning on sometime between 3:30 and 4 stopping, but I might stop before that because these roads are a bit treacherous. But then again, I would be leaving money on the table then, so it's a tough balance. Like in Nessie, this wouldn't be a problem. It's Subaru, it's a higher up above the ground, and the tires were a bit better. But this Honda Civic, like, I don't know if I've said it before on this channel, but the downside to Leonidas is it's so low to the ground and there's not as much suspension, so you feel every single bump on the road. And when rain happens like this, you know, you're sunk in a little bit more. So it's a tough balance. I'm kind of going back and forth on whether or not I should pull into the Chili's right now or not. Everybody's favorite hangout in 2026 America, Chili's. All right, let's go watch a Daytona 500. First little update. We have been going strong all day today. It's been a very rainy day, and we started about 8:35. We got to our 100 mark around 1:17, around 2 p.m., and it's about 4:09 right now, and we have made $170-ish between DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Instacart. So we're gonna go into the Chili's and watch a Daytona 500. We do have an opportunity to make some more money here. Remember that $10 I put on a Super Bowl last week? Well, it was a bonus bet, and they refunded it to me, so I put it on a Daytona 500, and my pick is Kyle Busch. It's been 20 plus years since he's been in the Cup Series. He's overdue. He won the pole for this race, so it'll be a good omen if Kyle Busch wins. Oh no, I hope Kyle Busch wasn't in that. That might be my bet. Kyle Busch was not in that, thank God. Whew, we're still in it. Heck yeah. Anybody wants to lure me into a van, margaritas and chips and salsa. Look at that right there. Southwest egg rolls, Nashville hot mozz, honey chipotle crispers, ranch and avocado sauce. That's my go-to. And this appears in front of me, a chocolate peanut butter pie. About 15 to go, 19 to go, wherever that is. That was a crazy Daytona 500. Tyler Reddick got it at the line. Everyone wrecking behind him. I'm out $10 because Kyle Busch didn't win, but that's okay. It was a fun one.
She was surprised when I knew her name.
Yeah, she was. I spelled her name. She said,
Holy shit, I am stuffed.
but we have to earn that back because, oh my god, how did I spend $57 in Chili's? But first we gotta fuel up, and because Shell is doing a bit of a rewards thing through NASCAR. Joe Logano's number is 22. You get 22 cents per gallon off. So that was like $2.55. Now it's $2.38. Plus, with Fuel Saver, I have the rewards program and PayPal debit card, 5% cash back and upside. I'm getting this gas super freaking cheap. Look at that. $19.11 for basically 8 gallons. Look at that. 7+ an hour until 7:29. Gonna go till 8 p.m. We have ended the night. Like, there was a couple of Little Caesars orders that were gonna take forever, and I decided to just unassign them. I'm gonna go back to Greensboro, and we're gonna do Monday in Greensboro. And so I'm here at the Cracker Barrel in Greensboro, my usual sleep spot, and I've just been going on Facebook, and I saw a post by one of my music friends saying that their regular Monday gig has gotten the axe, which they had it like for a decade. It's just sad because it's just a state of the economy right now. Live music, it's the first thing to go and the last thing to come back. Unfortunately, people just don't have money to go out to bars anymore. Like, you saw it with 2 drinks, a thing of chips and salsa, a triple dipper, and a peanut butter pie, but with tax and tip, $57 for one person. That's just unsustainable right there. I mean, granted, yes, I could have gotten cheaper options like their smash burger combo and done like 1 drink instead of 2 drinks and not done the chips and salsa, but at the same time, I wanted to splurge and wanted to, see if trading yourself throughout this challenge was even a feasible idea, but it's not, and I'm still thinking about doing that busking tour, despite the recession indicator. Alright, y'all, we are ending today with a total of $888.84. Here's all of our expenses here, and I got my window covers up, and I'm tired. I'm honestly getting burnt out from this, not gonna lie. Oh my god, we have 20 more days of this shit. I've got to do something selfless for this channel before I do indulgent things out on the road again. But anyway, I'm actually going to end the video here because I want to manifest having a full day, a full week of nothing going wrong. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Spencer Joyce's World. Homeless to $3,600 challenge. We are kicking off day 11 with $888.84. We had 2 really awesome weekends in the first 10 days. We had both Super Bowl weekend and Valentine's weekend. So these next 2 weekends will definitely tell whether or not we'll be able to get to our goal in the time that we allotted. I was going to give you the first little bit of my routine, but because we had Chili's last night, nature called a little bit early, so I was more important than getting content. Let's see if I can recreate that. Now, as y'all remember, we were having a problem here. Let's see if I can do this on hand here. That the radiator fan was still on, but it looks like that problem has gone away. I guess plugging and unplugging this thing right here kind of reset everything, and the problem went away on its own. So, yay, that's a good sign. Now, last night I posted a 10-day update on this whole journey, and one of the most frequent comments I got under TikTok and Instagram is, what if you don't have a car? Well, that's a bit complicated then. If you live in America, especially rural America, you pretty much have to drive. It's not negotiable at all. Because pretty much, if you don't live in a major city, the public transportation system is just either really crappy or non-existent. Like in my case, in Rockingham County, North Carolina, it is non-existent. And here in the Triad area, Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem, there is the parked bus, but that only goes to certain areas. The infrastructure is not there. You pretty much have to drive. And look, for the younger generations, Gen Z, there's a lot of things about your attitude about work, I do agree with it for the most part. This is just one thing that we differ on, is the desire to not have a car. I mean, look, I know it's pretty much a rolling money pit. You pretty much, even just drive it off the lot, it loses a lot of its value, depreciates immediately. But unfortunately, living in this country, you pretty much have to have a car. It's just not negotiable. Especially if you become homeless, a car is a great option for you if you don't have any other options. Now, a problem I do have with this car is that it's very easy to get condensation inside of the car, probably because there's not as much ventilation. Like, I didn't have this problem with Nessie. Probably gonna have this issue with Leonidas, so probably at night I'm gonna have to like crack one of my windows. That way moisture has a way to get out. That way I don't grow mold in this car. That would not be good. But for now, we're gonna go top off the tank, and then we're gonna fire up the delivery apps. Hopefully today's a good day, because it is President's Day. For the non-Americans here, that's a federal holiday. The kids are off of school, so I'm basically gonna treat this like a Sunday, you know, minus all the sporting events going on. Yes, get receipt. That way I can plug it in the upside and get that cash back. There we go. Now the main event of the day, firing up the delivery apps. Oh my god. Actually, I'm gonna go up here. Probably gonna direct me up there. Yeah, just like that. There we go. Man, I don't know what it is. I mean, it is Monday. I've only made $47 so far before the lunch rush, which I guess that's a little on par, but at the same time, I feel like somehow it's just slow. I figured there'd be more because the kids are home, but maybe I was wrong about that. And of course, there's an order that pops up. Maybe that's just what I need to do, is just come on and complain about it, and then an order will pop up. You know, just seeing all the actual homeless people on the corners, you know, begging for money. And in fact, I had someone, when I went to drop off some McDonald's, like, it literally come up to me and ask for something, and told them I don't carry cash on me. So I felt really bad. But those are actual homeless folks. Like, someone on Reddit definitely pointed out something that does need to be addressed, and that is, the term for what I am isn't homeless, it's houseless. I don't have a house. I don't have a place to go to. I do have somewhere, like, to live and sleep in, but I'm not without a home in all technicalities. So making that distinction is quite important. However, because of YouTube's algorithm and what'll do well in rankings, I have to put in the title homeless and not houseless. Houseless won't get as much clicks as homeless. It's just the reality of the situation. Right, it is 2:25. We have made $114. A little less than, you know, the weekends, but, you know, still our goal of $100 before our lunch break. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It started out a bit slow, but it picked up a bit. Maybe it's just my own paranoia. Maybe it's the roads around here. I can't tell when I hear like little humming noises beneath my car. I can't tell if it's my car or the roads. I'm just paranoid. But anyway, we're at our second home, Taco Bell. I have a free rewards thing, and it's happy hour. Like, how do you beat that in terms of, you know, trying to save money? When I don't have any more coupons, we'll try something else. I mean, I keep saying that. It's like I'm trying to eat Taco Bell every single day. Also, do you hear that? Nope. I don't hear it either. Go Leonidas. Don't tell anybody. But I ordered a medium, and they gave me a large. Shh, that's between you and me. Alright, we've had lunch, fueled up at the Circle K. We're gonna go till about 7 o'clock tonight before we go back home. And our first pickup of the second half is Cheesecake Factory. Been wondering when I'd see them. Let me know down below. Do you think it's a tacky first date to go to Cheesecake Factory? I don't think so. And if you do think so, stay the hell out of my DMs. Alright, so we have a problem. When I went to do this grocery order for DoorDash, I left the fuse in. I have been all day since I haven't been having any issues. And it took for freaking ever to crank. Like, I don't know, it usually cranks in like half a second when it's good. But this took like 2 seconds to crank. It was like... So, maybe we're not out of the woods with that fuse after all. So, this is annoying as hell right now. So, I'm actually going to go home now. I'm not going to do the dinner crowd because, I was planning on going home anyway. Do this once a week to simulate, staying at a friend's house. But with that long start, like, I've got to take a look at some things. Like, the whole point of going home in real life is to edit the videos, but I also got to run some tests with the car. Maybe the fuse is the problem and it did not go away, like something else is draining the battery, or I have noticed that the battery terminals are a bit corroded, so it might just be a simple battery replacement that we need. So I have been thinking about the future of this challenge, and I might need to, in the next day or so, kind of figure out what direction we're gonna go here, if we're gonna continue it at all. Alright, so I have got the car back home. I took the fuse out, let it sit for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna see if this is the problem that we're facing. Okay, it didn't take as many cranks that time to crank it up, so at the same time though, yeah, I think we're done. So it's the Wednesday after I came back, and I have made the decision to end the challenge. And there's a couple of reasons for it. I don't like to be the type that doesn't finish what they start. I've got good reason to stop this one. Well, first I'll start by giving you the original reason as to why I started this challenge to begin with. About a month and a half after Nessie died, I was without a car. And I knew that I would have to build up an emergency fund before I did any travel. So I figured that would be a good way to kill two birds with one stone, get content for my channel, and also build my emergency fund before I get back on the road. And I figured with the economy the way it is right now, the silent recession, despite all these corporations having record profits and many jobs being at risk because of downsizing of companies and the rise of AI, I wanted to give my fellow Americans a blueprint to be able to get back on their feet if they were in complete dire straits. 3 main reasons why I'm thinking it's time to call it quits on this challenge is, one is personally, I'm burnt out from this. I don't mind doing DoorDash and the other gig apps, but having to get content with it is really just another step with it, and I'm realizing it's just the same thing over and over again, and that's not interesting content. Nobody really wants to watch that. And I'm sensing that this series might be a little bit insensitive to those who are actually homeless and don't have a car. Like, I've seen that comment throughout YouTube and TikTok and Instagram is, well, what if you don't have a car? Well, because of how social media works, I had to use the term homeless because it ranks higher in algorithmic searches as opposed to houseless, which really is the more appropriate term for this, is houseless. I'm not without a home. I have somewhere to sleep. It's just not a physical address. With me in my own situation, I am privileged that I am able to come back to my Nana's house. I have a great relationship with her, and that's a lesson in this series, is relationships are even more important today than they've ever been, with multi-generational households just being the norm. It's the most economical way for millennials and Gen Z and any younger generation, with housing prices the way they are, to be able to even leave the nest, is to go live in their car or live in a van. And yes, I've seen one or two particular people harp on me wanting to get a van. There's a couple of drawbacks to that, but that's for another video. And also, having worked DoorDash and all the other gig apps across 22 different states, I'll list them out right here, pause to read. I can definitively say, is it possible to make a month's rent plus a security deposit in your area? 100% it is. The national average, not every area will be able to do that, especially if you have an older car with troubles with it, which we had in this challenge. It all depends on your market, depends on doing the job smartly, not taking every single order and working during the peak times, and using a car that is reliable, fuel efficient, that you take good care of, get regular oil changes, be sure that all the other tins and whistles are working. Between this challenge and my experience over 7 years, I can definitively, in Mythbuster style, can say that this myth is plausible. And there's so many other different factors. And as y'all can see, like in that last little bit, my own car that I bought, Leonidas, even though it is a Honda, those things last forever. It has 324,000 miles on it. With all the things I want to do on it, like I said in the first video that I posted this year, I'll drive it in 2026, but I don't see myself driving it in 2027. And this is another case of you're burnt out with what it is you're doing, and you know that you have the ability to go do what it is you want to do, which I've talked about it in this series, is to go on a busking tour. Like, I've taken some of the funds that I've used and I've invested in a new battery-powered amplifier and a new travel guitar. So that's coming soon, and you'll want to be subscribed to my music channel. I've linked that in the description and at the end of this video. Before we get to the end of this series, I want to share with y'all the final numbers here. I'm going to put them on the screen here. In total, I earned $1,630.66. $1,388.78 of that came from DoorDash. $165.27 of that came from Uber Eats. $113.71 of that came from Instacart. In cash out fees, because I'm impatient, I spent $32.91. On gas, I spent $243.69. On food, I spent $142.45. On miscellaneous things like supplies for the car, the motel that we had to stay in, that we actually didn't stay in because I stayed here and I just counted it because you know why. Also, a few car parts and an oil change. Spent $468.55 combined. I put 2,530 miles on my car. Before we get to the final balance, there's a couple of things I didn't put in the challenge throughout, which was my car payment, my insurance, and my phone bill. So what I did was I took my car note, which is $133 a month. I divided that by 28 days for $4.75 per day. My car insurance is $146 a month. Divided that again by 28 to get $5.22 per day. And my phone bill, which is $127 a month. Divide that by 28, that's $4.54 per day. And I added that into my calculations, which means my balance at the end of all this was $928.12. My average amount earned per working day before tax was $163.06, and my average profit per working day before tax was $92.81. And that means that the days needed to get the average studio apartment plus a month's security deposit in the state of North Carolina, 30 days. So if we're counting that, you could say we did win the challenge. And the days needed to get the US national average rent payment plus this monthly security deposit would be $39. So again, like I've said before, it depends on your market, depends on how well you treat your car. Also depends if you work these gig apps smart and not hard. That's gonna do it for this series. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope you don't feel shortchanged because we ended it after 11 days. But hopefully you got some thoughtful tips out of it, and if you end up in a dire situation like this, you can pull yourself out of it and get back on your feet. That's the whole lesson in this. I do have a few other video ideas that I'll be implementing in the coming weeks, DoorDash related and food related, before we get back out on the road. So be sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss those. YouTube thinks you'll like something on my face. I love y'all. Thank you for changing my life, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.